What's up, everybody? How you doing today? My name is David Franco, and today is September 12th, 2023. Tim Cook and all of his closest friends just wrapped up the Wonderlust iPhone event, as well as Apple Watch. Man, they spent a lot of time on that Apple Watch, and rightfully so. More on that in a bit. And well, I figured I'm just going to do my usual recap video. Now, I'm not going to do the same thing every other creator seems to do, just read a list of bullet points. Instead, I'm going to jump into my MacBook Pro, literally, okay, not literally, and we're going to just kind of walk through Apple's website, their official website, together and check out the changes. And well, I'll just give you guys my first impressions on everything that they announced today, and maybe, just maybe, some tidbits and small details that they did not announce today, but they are included on the website. So let's jump right in and see what Apple announced. Okay, so starting off, first of all, I gotta say this, guys. Last year, I was wowed, absolutely wowed by the iPhone 14 Pro Max because of Dynamic Island. That, for me, was a game changer because it made the notch useful, you know? And I think it was a genius way to say, look, we have this space on our phone that we absolutely need to use for sensors and cameras and all that stuff. But at the same time, we also want to make it useful for you, the user. And that's why I loved it so much. Apple actually had like a unique approach with that. And I still love DI, Dynamic Island. Let's just call it DI. Anyway, guys, I'm saying all this because I'll just tell you this real quick. The iPhone 15 Pro in no way is blowing my mind like the iPhone 14 Pro announcement did last year. Honestly, this feels like an iPhone 14s, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. Nothing or nobody is ever forcing you to upgrade every single year. Now, will I be upgrading? Maybe at some point, like maybe closer to Christmas. I mean, who knows? It might be my holiday gift to myself this year. I will be buying myself the Apple Watch Series 9 because I'm currently using the Apple Watch Series 6. You see this, guys? That's the Series 6. I don't wear it enough. There's no watch on my wrist. Anyway, here we go, guys. The iPhone 15 Pro, iPhone 15, Apple Watch Series 9, Apple Watch Ultra 2. I wish I had a need for the Ultra 2. And honestly, guys, I've seen a couple people wearing the Apple Watch Ultra, and I know for a fact they're never ever going to use the Ultra features like mountain climbing and intense workouts. It's just not a thing. Some people just like to have the latest and greatest, myself included, but not the Apple Watch Ultra. It's just out of my price range. I can't justify, what is it, like $800 for a watch. I just can't do that. And of course, a major step toward making all of our products carbon neutral by 2030. I have to give them, Apple, obviously. Guys, I have to give Apple so much respect for that. That's a huge deal. I am by no means like, you know, one of those nature freaks. I mean, obviously I appreciate nature and I'm all for saving the environment in any way I can. But this is a big deal. Carbon neutral by 2030, and Apple spent a long time pretty much bragging, a good brag, about their efforts in bringing down their usage case scenarios and all that stuff in terms of hazardous materials and blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's scroll down and see what Apple is giving us on the homepage. iPhone 15 Pro. Let's actually start out with the Apple Watch because that's what Apple started out with. Learn more. Okay, so smarter, brighter, mightier. I'll say it again. I'm currently using the Apple Watch Series 6. So going from the Series 6 to the Series 9 for me is a huge upgrade, and I have no hesitation whatsoever in saying that's a smart purchase. But again, going from iPhone 14 to iPhone 15, different story. Okay, so scrolling down, our most powerful Apple Watch ever, blah, blah, blah. They say that every year, a powerful move forward, S9 chip. This is what interested me the most, guys. Double tap. I'm all about gestures. And do you see what they're doing here? Double tap. Guys, Apple is not stupid. They're training to get used to the fact that, hey, we can do gestures by doing this. And well, what is this used for? Besides pinching a little nose, the Apple Vision Pro. Apple's not dumb. They're not stupid. They are getting us ready. They're mentally preparing us for a world that uses our fingers more. But yeah, guys, anyway, double tap actually looks really cool. My only doubt is I hope it works as well as advertised, because anytime I've used a device that allows you to tap it twice or use some kind of shake gesture, in my experience, it's never 100% perfect. But Apple does claim that they're using some kind of algorithm and machine learning, they love those words, to sense when you're doing the gesture and when you're not doing the gesture. So I'm very curious, very curious to see how useful this is, because if it works as advertised, this could be a feature I use all the time. And I actually saw someone on Threads jokingly say, good, I don't have to use my nose on my Apple Watch anymore. I've done that. I've actually used my nose, like if I'm carrying groceries or if I'm holding a coffee or something as simple as a glass of water. Sometimes you cannot immediately tap your Apple Watch. So that's actually a huge feature, but I just hope it works as advertised. Anyway, think of the double tap gesture as an action button. You can use it for a variety of things, such as stopping a timer, replying to a message, checking your smart stack, which I'll never do, but play and pause your music, which is kind of huge. Answer a phone call while paddleboarding. I have never paddleboarded in my life, but that's definitely useful when I don't have access to my wrist. All right, so 2 times brighter display. What is it? Yeah, 2,000 nits. Let me see something here. Apple Watch Series 6 nits brightness, 1,000 nits. Wow, that's crazy. So I'm doubling the max brightness of my Apple Watch usability. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. And actually says here double Series 8. Which is interesting. So Series 7 really never got a boost, I guess. And of course, it goes down to 1 nit for those instances where maybe you're in a movie theater where it's really dark, or maybe even in church or something like that. I don't know. Seriously capable. Apple, you are so clever with your words. Hey Siri, how did I sleep last night? That's pretty cool. That's something I could use. Making sure I didn't activate my HomePods over there. HomePod control, speaking of HomePod. I don't really see myself ever using that, but hey, it's there. iPhone, so
really cool.
Okay, so I guess she was listening. Anyway, guys, no joke. Last night I could not find my iPhone. Now it turns out I left it in here because I was working in the basement and I put it down here to upload a vlog. A video. I left my iPhone in here and I couldn't find it. So I was like, where the hell is my iPhone? But I wish I could have located it, but I don't have my Apple Watch on me. But now this accurately will tell me exactly or precisely where my Apple devices are, such as my iPhone, which is pretty cool. Reimagined, remarkable, blah blah blah. WatchOS 10, which I have not used the beta, so I'm excited about that. And they're going to talk about carbon neutral a lot here. But yeah, this is a huge upgrade for me, guys, because I'm going to get even better sensors, by the way. So I'm very excited to see what that means for me on the Apple Watch Series 9. So cool. I'll say it again, guys. Apple Watch Series 9. Easy purchase for me. I'm not even going to think about it twice. Okay, so let's go to the iPhone 15. I'm not even going to bother talking about the Apple Watch Series Ultra 2. I mean, it's a... Okay, fine. I'll click it real quick. Honestly, I thought they would just continue to use the Apple Watch Ultra branding with no Series 2 or Ultra 2 or just number 2 or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. But basically, this has a 3,000 nits brightness, which is good for the outdoors. 36 hours on a single charge, and it sells for $7.99. There you go. Okay, let's start out with the iPhone 15, and then we'll wrap up with the iPhone 15 Pro. So the iPhone 15, I gotta say, is far more exciting than last year's standard iPhone 14, because you're basically getting everything that made the iPhone 14 Pro Max exciting last year, or the iPhone 14 Pro in general. And now they're bringing those features over to the iPhone 15, including DI. Yep, I said it. Dynamic Island is coming to the iPhone 15. This is huge, guys. I am a big fan of this software, if I haven't made that clear enough yet. I love Dynamic Island. It is the reason to get an iPhone 14 Pro or an iPhone 15 standard, because it really is that useful. It can be a little gimmicky here and there, but generally speaking, it's really cool, and it allows you to actually switch between apps even quicker than sometimes just swiping, which is pretty sweet. Color through and through, tough all around, blah blah blah. 48 megapixel camera. We're kind of used to that by now. Focus pocus, that's funny. magical new portraits. This is cool because this is basically technology that they advertised a while ago, I think on the iPhone 13 Pro, I could be wrong, but basically they had the cinema mode where you could change the depth of field after you record, and now you can do it in portrait photos, which is really cool, guys. Like, that's so awesome. Think about it. Like, how many times have you taken a photo and it's out of touch? I mean, out of focus. Sometimes it happens even to the best of us, and now you can actually change the depth of field after the fact, and that's huge. That is so cool that it's constantly saving that data for you in the background. 2 times telephoto. Hold on, I gotta take a drink. I'm gonna rant. I love my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I love this phone, but I absolutely despise the macro lens. Because of the macro lens, this is my least favorite camera upgrade on any iPhone I've ever bought myself. The cameras annoy the hell out of me. Now, they're great cameras when they work. I'm not trying to say they suck. They're great in general, but allow me to rant for a quick second. Say I'm trying to take a picture of my Apple remote. Right here, right? I hold up my phone like this, right? And look at that. It already entered macro mode, and I'm not even that close. In my opinion, when you're this close to a subject, yeah, definitely give me that macro mode love. It looks amazing. But when I'm doing this and it's constantly switching between the standard lens and the macro lens, it drives me crazy. And when you're trying to take a macro photo from this distance, it's blurry. It's not nearly as sharp as the standard lens gives you. And that drives me absolutely crazy. It blows my mind how this got out the door, especially from a multi-billion-dollar company like Apple. Mind-blowing. And guys, this is a lot coming from me, the Apple fanboy. But man, I hate that macro lens with a passion. I despise everything it represents. So I'm hoping, God, I'm hoping the iPhone 15 macro lens just behaves better. I'm hoping it doesn't kick in when it doesn't need to kick in. And yes, I realize there is a setting. I changed that on day one. It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't. I hate that lens with a passion. Burn it. Destroy it. Okay, that's a bit much, but guys, I hate that lens. I hate that so much. It drives me crazy when I'm trying to get a good picture. Guys, oftentimes I literally have to back away from my subject, tap 2x, zoom in, and then take my photo. That's how annoying and overly sensitive that macro lens is. Man, I didn't. Anyway, I'm good. I'm in a good mood, I promise. And bada bing, bada boom, you get it, iPhone 15. To me, it's not that exciting, but for those who do not have Dynamic Island, take my recommendation, look into it. It actually does kind of change the way you use your iPhone. At least it changes the way I use my iPhone. Okay, iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. Again, this is kind of like an iPhone 14s in my eyes. And if I already had the iPhone 13 and not the 14, then yeah, I would upgrade in a heartbeat. But nothing on this page is really blowing my mind. However, there are a few features that have grabbed my attention. For instance, titanium. Honestly, that doesn't do too much for me because it's going to be in a case. But anytime they change the overall structure and design of the iPhone, I am completely on board with that. A17 Pro chip, a monster win for gaming. As a huge gamer, this does nothing for me. I'm just not a mobile gamer. I'm not a big fan of those touch controls. The most I ever got into mobile gaming was on my iPad Pro by playing Call of Duty using my Xbox controller. I can't stand touch controls in a touch screen, at least when it comes to playing a game. Your thumbs get in the way. It just doesn't make sense to me. But obviously, I'm wrong. The average, okay, you know what? Hold on. Casual gamers like it. I don't consider myself a casual gamer. I'm very competitive these days, and I just can't take mobile gaming seriously. That's all. But hey, for all the millions upon millions of casual gamers out there, yeah, it's a big deal. But for me personally, no, I'd rather stick to my PC and consoles. A camera that captures your wildest imagination, if the macro lens doesn't get in the way, absolutely. This I'm actually pretty curious about. 120 millimeters of pure pro zoom, and it's optical. That's a 5x optical zoom lens on your phone, guys. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. Now, of course, I know the naysayers are gonna say, well, David, that makes the iPhone thicker. Honestly, that doesn't bother me one bit, because I put this little thing in my phone called the case, and the case always has a big enough bump over the lenses where the lenses don't touch my desk surface or anything. Now, would I like the days of my phone being completely flat again? Absolutely, but guys, those days are behind me, or us in general, I mean, and things change. Life changes. You just got to get used to it. Anyway, 120 millimeters of pure pro zoom. This I am all for. So check that out again. That's damn far, guys. That's optical. That is not digital. That is optical, meaning you are not sacrificing any kind of data in your photos, and assuming your videos as well, which is really, really cool. Now this. The action button is the feature that has me second guessing myself. Like, do I want to upgrade from the 14 to the 15? Deep down, yes, but immediately I'm telling myself no, because I don't need this phone and I'm not really in the position to just throw money at Apple. I mean, I'm buying the Apple Watch already, and that's enough money as it is. Okay, so anyway, we have silent mode, focus, instantly access your camera. Yeah, you can do that from your lock screen, but this is even quicker. And the same goes for the flashlight. I have wanted to access my flashlight so many times, and oftentimes I mess up for whatever reason. But now clicking a physical button, I'm all for that. And guys, let's face it, physical buttons will always be better than software buttons, right? For the most part, yeah, but I'm just saying this. You really can't screw up with a physical button. It just works. Voice memo, translate, magnifier, shortcuts. The fact that Apple even lets you access shortcuts using a hardware button, that's huge, guys. That is significant. So you could create some truly amazing workflows using a single button. That is cool. And of course, accessibility. Apple's always been great with that. It is USB-C. Gotta be honest, this doesn't excite me nearly as much as other people it seems to excite. I will never understand the fascination with USB-C on the iPhone. You see this ring on the back of my case? Wireless charging, guys. I MagSafe charge my iPhone every single night without even thinking. I just slap it on, boom, charges. I wake up, I pull it off magnetically, and I start my day. I don't understand the fascination with USB-C. I just don't. I'm sorry. But I will say this. There have been those instances when I'm on vacation, and for whatever reason, I may have forgotten a lightning cable, or I don't feel like packing, or unpacking in this case, my MagSafe charger. Then yeah, it would be really nice to use this, a USB-C cable from my GoPro, but on my iPhone. Yes, that would be absolutely awesome. But honestly, guys, that happens to me maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So for me personally, USB-C, yeah, it's convenient. I'm not going to argue it, but I just don't see the big deal. I charge my iPhone wirelessly every single night. The only way it's going to be a huge deal, creatively speaking, is if you need to transfer some large file sizes or whatever. But I rarely have to do that. Any photos or videos I take on here, I just airdrop from my iPhone to my MacBook Pro or vice versa. And that works just fine. Yeah, it might take a couple minutes, but I'll get up and make a coffee and try to make the best use of my time. So I'll say it again. USB-C, cool. I'm glad it's finally there. I kind of hate that Apple folded to the EU, but they kind of had to. So USB-C is here. So very nice. Very nice, I guess. All right. Battery life up to 29 hours. I will say battery life on my iPhone 14 Pro Max has been good enough. My battery health could definitely be better. For example, I'm going to my battery health and charging. I'm currently at 93% maximum capacity. 93%. That's not amazing, but that's not that bad. So if I keep this phone for another year, realistically speaking, it'll probably drop down to about 80 to 83. But I'm still trying to convince myself to get the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So we'll see. We'll see. Emergency, all that good stuff. And there you go. Guys, those are my thoughts on the iPhone 15 Pro. the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the iPhone 15, just the bare bones iPhone 15. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. Apple Watch Ultra 2, and of course the Apple Watch Series 9. Overall, a solid event. I am by no means disappointed because I always set up realistic expectations going into this event. Although I will say, I was surprised at the Apple Watch and the iPhone and all that stuff. It didn't really seem to get more expensive. I could be wrong, especially with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. After reading all those rumors, I mean, the price starts at $1199. And I already checked the trade-in value of my iPhone 14 Pro Max. If I trade this in, I think I get like $600 or $700 towards the new phone, and it starts at 256 gigabytes, and that's what I have on here, 256 gigabytes. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not giving you guys false information. General, iPhone storage. Yeah, this is a 256 gigabyte iPhone, right? But I'm only using 130 gigabytes. So what does that tell you guys? I'm perfectly fine going with the bare bones iPhone 15 Pro Max. So who knows? Maybe I'll trade this into Apple and treat myself to the iPhone 15 Pro Max sometime before the holidays. But for now, I'm going to focus on my buying efforts on the Apple Watch Series 9. So definitely stay tuned for an unboxing of that in the near future. So overall, solid event. Nothing blew my mind like last year's event did. But hey, Apple can't wow us every year. So there's always next year. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know, what are your thoughts on the newest Apple announcements? Are you buying the new iPhone, the new Apple Watch, or are you not buying anything? Or are you an Android user? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Oh, and please, if you enjoyed this video, please click that like button. I know the irony of asking for a like after I just dissed Android, but it is what it is. I ain't gonna pretend to be someone I'm not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.